It is my birthday today, so I figured that it's very fitting to do my first cigar video for my new channel, doing a special birthday cigar. One of my personal favorites is the Plasencia Alma Fuerte. Now, this is the Gordo size, I believe, so it's going to be quite the long smoke. But Plasencia makes great cigars. Alma Fuerte is one of my favorites because it's a much darker, more bold flavor. And I'm gonna light it up and tell you a little bit about it. I also want to point out that because it's my birthday, I'm having a special drink. It is a Four Roses single barrel. Got it for a good deal. No better way to chime in number 40. So let's see how this goes. Wow, that's a great pairing actually. Right off the bat, I get from the cigar, get a lot of woody notes. Not quite cedar, maybe a little bit more oakiness, some leather, black pepper, and let's see. A little bit of nuts in there too. Overall, great cigar. And I will come back to you once I break into the first third. All right, we are into the first third right now, and that ash is looking pretty good. I've had Plasencia Alma Fuerte before, and it's very well constructed. I expect this ash to hang on quite a bit. I normally take the ash off at this point just because I don't want it to drop on my clothes, but for the sake of the video I'm going to leave the ash on just so I can show you guys how well this cigar is constructed. A little more flavor opened up as it went on, getting a little bit of more oakiness. The leather is kind of sort of taking a backseat as opposed to when I first lit it. I'm getting a little bit of a cinnamon. Yeah, just like a hint of cinnamon there. The oakiness is starting to really come out a little bit more. I must correct myself. This isn't actually their Gordo, although it looks like a Gordo. This is their Hexagon. It's a very interesting shape. If you could see like the corners there right along the cigar, it's very interesting when you get a cigar that's so well constructed. The shape is great. The draw is perfect. Like, there's nothing more annoying than trying to enjoy a good cigar and the draw is too tight or too loose. The too loose is just can get obnoxious. The smoke output is great. Not too much, not too little. This isn't my first rodeo with this cigar. It doesn't disappoint. Price range, it runs at about $20, a little bit on the pricey side, but like I said, I'm celebrating my 40th birthday and it's a good celebration cigar. It's a little windy today, so the smoke rings aren't coming out really well, but yeah, I'm pretty well into the first third. Check back with you once we get to the second third. Just a quick note about Plasencia itself. It is a Nicaraguan company. Plasencia Alma Fuerte is a Nicaraguan puro. What do I mean by puro? Puro means that it is a Nicaraguan wrapper, Nicaraguan filler, Nicaraguan binder. For those of you who don't know, a cigar is wrapped in 3 different layers of tobacco. There is the filler, which is all the little tobacco that's bunched in there. There is the binder. The binder is what binds it all together, hence binder. The wrapper is what you all see on the outside. It's all Nicaraguan tobacco, which is why it's called a puro, because a lot of cigars, they'll mix and match. But this is a straight up Nicaraguan puro, and a great one at that. Pardon the scarf, it got a little chilly out here. It is almost November in Chicago, so it's a little nippy out. So I've got my scarf on, ready to go. Just into my second third, and I will say the ash held on very well. So that's how long the ash was when it fell, which is actually very impressive. I honestly believe that it probably would have held on longer, except I was a little careless. But let's see what we got here. The oakiness is kind of taking a back seat a little bit. The leather is definitely more pronounced. Pepper has kicked up a little bit, but not too much. And I'm honestly starting to taste chocolate, dark chocolate, if I had to say. Let's see what it's like with the whiskey. The whiskey definitely adds a little bit more spice in the pairing. I will say there was a point where just before the ash fell out, there was a cigar crack, which does happen sometimes, especially for an older cigar. I got this particular cigar when we were vacationing out in Clearwater, about 3 years ago. Not an old cigar, but it's been around. It's been sitting in my humidor for a while, particularly for this occasion, it seems. But still holding strong. Come back at you, the final third, with my final thoughts. I'm about to get into the final third, getting there at least, but I wanted to point out something. Look at the wrapper. It's got a dark brown, very smooth. Typically it means that it's well constructed, and also the tobacco is pretty good. But I also wanted to point out the rings. This is just simple black and gold, but it speaks to you. Plasencia is also a very legendary company. It's gotten a lot of traction in the last few years. By the way, this cigar has won awards left and right for the last 8 to 10 years. Plasencia itself has been around for over 100 years. So, you see anything by Plasencia, it doesn't have to be Alma Fuerte. They got many cigars, but you know you're going to get a good deal. Alright, we are now in the final third of the Plasencia Alma Fuerte Hexagon. Not much of a change in the flavor, aside from the strength kicking up, which is pretty typical for cigars. The closer you get to the end, the stronger it gets. A little bit more spice kicking in. The leather and the oak have started to strengthen up a little bit. But otherwise, yeah. Like I've said, I've smoked this cigar before, and it is great. Particularly if you're looking for something for a special occasion. For me, it was my 40th birthday. Plasencia Alma Fuerte. It's a great celebratory stick. About $20-ish, depending on where you go, but it is well worth it. It comes in various sizes. They also have Robustos and Toros. This is the first time I'm smoking the Hexagon size, and it did not disappoint. I got a little bit more to smoke. I like smoking down to the very nub. I don't see a lot of changes in the flavor past this point. Typically, cigars don't change once you get to this point outside of the strength picking up. So, great cigar. Highly recommend it. And this closes my very first cigar review. This is Stars, Cigars, and Guitars. Signing out. Cheers.